We're going to talk about e-commerce. It's like regular commerce, only no one calls the police when you do it naked. The rise of e-commerce has dramatically changed the way that we shop for everything, and its convenience is irresistible, as this woman admits.
If I don't have to get out of the house, why not just Amazon Prime it?
Now, I know that she might sound lazy there, but you simply can't blame Ashlyn Ardeber. She's spent her life at the beginning of every alphabetical list. She's never had to wait for anything. N through Z, that's the sturdy boys half of the alphabet. That is where you learn the meaning of the phrase, "Hold on a second, John." And she is right. 20 years ago, when you ran out of something like toilet paper, you had to pull on your Juicy Couture velour pants, Uggs and Von Dutch hat, leave your house and go to something called a store, physically locate something called an aisle, pick the toilet paper up with your physical arms, drag yourself to the register using your legs and feet, pay for it with cash, and then somehow transport the toilet paper all the way back to your house in a bag, even if you were thirsty. It was hell. Now, thankfully, you can just click a button, which is much better. It's frankly no wonder that e-commerce is gradually chipping away at brick-and-mortar retail sales. And it can seem like the retail jobs are shifting too. The number of workers who lost their jobs at department stores like Sears, Macy's and JCPenney since 2000 is about the same as the 444,000 hired by the warehousing industry. It's as if warehouses are absorbing America's lost retail employees, which initially sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? It's like hearing that there's actually a farm upstate where Borders, Circuit City and Tower Records employees can run around and be free, when you always just assumed that that was a lie and that they were all euthanized. But what actually happens in warehouses can be invisible to most people unless companies like Amazon choose to give us entertaining glimpses into what a fun workplace they run, like this.
Have you ever wondered how Amazon gets your packages to you so quickly? We do it with two things: amazing technology and amazing people. Tell us about yourself, Sean.
I receive products, and I'm a horrible dancer.
Can we see some moves? The Slam machine weighs, scans your box, and attaches a label all in like 1 second. Oh, and that's Ryan. He loves photography.
I do love photography.
Finally, Jackie gives every single box a long and loving hug before loading it onto a truck.
No, you don't.
Oh, maybe just this one?
Okay.
Aw, you love it.
Hold on. Saying you love it after coercing her into hugging a box is gross. And it's frankly telling that on YouTube, and this is true, comments are disabled for that video. Presumably because Amazon knew that the only reasonable response to that is, fuck everything about this. But the truth is, those jobs are not all dance-offs and box hugging. They are physically hard, as this commentator says, albeit in the most tactless way possible.
But when you go to these distribution centers, fulfillment centers, they like to call them, because it's supposed to be fulfilling, it's anything but. It's an amazing thing to see, but my first time when I visited one of these massive warehouses with row after row after row of stuff, and these people walking miles, tens of miles a day, picking these things and putting them back in there, it just looks like back-breaking, exhausting work. It made me thank God that I went to college.
That's right.
Wow. Joking about people not going to college is some concentrated elitism, although, to be fair, it is the condescension that really pulls his outfit together. A lilac plaid shirt beneath a pastel plaid blazer. You look like a Brooks Brothers mannequin who was thrown out for being a noise violation. But the thing is, he is right. It is back-breaking labour, sometimes literally. The injury and illness rate in the warehouse industry is higher than industries like coal mining, construction and logging. And I didn't know that there were jobs more dangerous than those, other than maybe rodeo clown, Oompa Loompa or shark dentist. And now is actually a good time to talk about this, because Amazon just announced their annual Prime Day, one of their biggest sales events, basically Black Friday in the middle of July. So tonight, let's look at the warehouse part of the logistics industry and the people who work inside them, because the margins are razor thin and the tiniest details can make a huge difference. At Walmart's most recent shareholder meeting, their CEO brought two workers on stage to show off how a minor change that they'd made to packing trucks was going to pay off in a big way for investors.
We had this two-step stool in the trailers, and guess what? It's kind of clunky. It's a little bit big and it's a little bit heavy. So Francisco does this job every day and figures out that if we change to this stool, which is lighter and easier to move around, People will actually use it all the time, and we're doing a much better job of cubing out the trailers. It's going to save us at least $30 million this year. Can you thank these two for us? Great job. Great job. Really appreciate it. See ya.
Yeah, give these guys a warm Walmart thank you, which is, of course, a small round of applause, 2 hearty claps on the back, and the request that they get this shit off the stage and get back to work. So there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes at warehouses, far from customers' eyes, because many retail giants subcontract to lesser-known outside companies. Take this warehouse in Memphis. It shipped phones for Verizon, but it wasn't run by Verizon. It was owned and operated by a company called XPO, one of the bigger names in logistics. And workers there said conditions could be brutal. Just last year, they complained about extreme heat.
The workers said in the complaint there's no air conditioning in most of the metal warehouse on Citation Drive and contended inside temperatures can get dangerous on hot days. A Tosha spokesperson said there's no requirements for air conditioning in any Tennessee workplace.
An oven. Now I understand how chicken feels when we put them in the oven.
That sounds terrible. Although I will say, a chicken shouldn't really be feeling anything when you put it in an oven. If it does, for the love of God, check your recipe. You may have missed some key steps. And heat is just the start here. The New York Times reported that a woman actually died of cardiac arrest at the warehouse, and a co-worker told reporters she'd witnessed that woman telling managers that she was short of breath and asking for an extra break, which her supervisor denied. Not just that, other workers said managers then told them to keep moving boxes as her body lay on the floor. Now, legally, here is why I have to tell you that XPO takes issue with the Times' story. They deny that the worker who died told her supervisor she was feeling unwell and said the company did allow workers to leave for the day after that worker died. Although I simply don't know how that squares with this actual post on Facebook from that day where an XPO employee wrote, "They're really trying to make us work and this lady's dead body's still in the building." XPO also insisted to us that they conducted a full independent investigation that showed just how wrong the Times' story was. So we said, great, can we see the report? And they told us that the investigation had been run by someone who used to work for Michelle Obama. And we said, great, can we see the report? And they said no because, and I quote, there is no written report because it was given to them verbally. So, which account should we believe here? XPO's spoken word report, the details of which may disappear into the wide chasm of history in the grand tradition of oral storytelling, or this written contemporaneous account from someone who was there about having to work around a co-worker's dead body? It's really up to you. The lawyers say it's up to you. I asked the lawyers, can it be up to me? And they said no. And I said, because if it was, I'd choose the Facebook one. And they said, well, you definitely can't say that, so I'm not going to. The point is, the warehouse industry operates at a breakneck pace. And at this point, we should probably turn to Amazon, because they've increased competitive pressure across the industry. As a former executive explains, they set the bar high.
There is a promise of speed, which is completely sacred. When you receive an email message from Amazon saying that the item is on the way and you will get it tomorrow, that promise has to be met at any cost.
Wow, at any cost. It's a little weird to hear someone treat my stupid Amazon purchases with such urgency, because you're not delivering diphtheria medicine to a remote Alaskan village here. You're delivering novelty horsehead masks to people who've frankly forgotten they ordered them till they showed up. And look, Amazon is not the worst actor in this industry. They generally don't subcontract out their warehouses, and they made headlines last year for raising workers' base pay to $15 an hour. But being not the worst is a low, low bar, and they have huge influence here. When Amazon announced earlier this year that they'd be making one-day shipping standard for Prime members, Walmart immediately hinted that it would do the same. Basically, Amazon is the industry trendsetter. They're the Michael Jackson of shipping. They're the best at what they do, everyone tries to imitate them, and nobody who learns a third thing about them is happy that they did. Because the conditions in their warehouses are not nearly as fun as their ads like to suggest. They can be physically draining, as this seasonal worker in his 70s will tell you.
I had a scanner in my hand, and the scanner would tell me to go pick up a box of Oreo cookies in the purple section. I would go there, and then I'd get another scan, go pick up some STP oil. And the green section, which is the opposite side of the warehouse, which the warehouse is 2 football fields or 3 football fields. So I would end up on a 10-hour shift walking 15 to 17 miles a day.
Yeah, and watching that might stick in your head the next time that you're sitting there ordering next-day delivery of Oreos. Do you really need them that fast? Probably not, right? How about a 72-pack of Tide Pods? Again, I'd argue no. What about this costume that makes your cat look like a sharpshooter? Well, here it does get more complicated, doesn't it? Your cat could be a little cowboy, then you could call him Butch Cassidy, and you might want that to happen as soon as possible. It's not an emergency, no, but it's also not unimportant. And if you're thinking, well, that sounds tough, but maybe that job just wasn't for that man, you should know the rate at which Amazon has workers pick items can exhaust workers of any age.
Pickers like Stephen Abadili walk 15 miles or more each day to retrieve as many as 200 items an hour. A handheld device dictates every move and counts down tasks to the second.
It would say I need to be in aisle 54, get this item, and then suddenly you're going to aisle 72 and you have 10 seconds.
Abadili struggled to keep up and, like many, was eventually let go.
I would get out of work, get home, and sit on the couch, and my body would just quit on me right then.
You're a guy in your early 20s.
Yeah.
And you're still wiped out.
I was dead at the end of the day.
Look, no one should be in their prime in the morning and then dead at the end of the day, unless they are a mayfly. And mayflies are just not spending their one day on Earth in an Amazon warehouse, because of course they're not. They know the precious value of time. They're spending their day doing a mountain of cocaine and fucking. Hashtag live fast, die fast. Hashtag YOLO. But by many accounts, Amazon operates at a relentless pace. And as one YouTuber who's worked in an Amazon warehouse will tell you, even when they offer a reward system, the incentives can be a bit of a slap in the face.
They would be like, you know, everyone's rates are really, really low and we need to get these up. So we're gonna have a power hour where you guys have to push and push and push as hard as you can. And the winner gets a prize for pushing and pushing through the pain and all that. Guess what the damn prize was? A $10 gift card to In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, I get why that was annoying. Because you know what's better than a $10 gift card to In-N-Out Burger? Just $10. It's like an In-N-Out gift card, but it can be used for things that don't come animal style. Plus, over the years, Amazon has faced criticism from workers over their willingness to accommodate basic human needs, like using the bathroom. 7 lawsuits have been filed against them by pregnant workers who say they were refused longer bathroom breaks and fewer continuous hours on their feet. Now, legally, here is where I have to tell you that Amazon says it's accommodated thousands of pregnant associates, and more generally, they say associates are allowed to use the toilet whenever needed. But that simply doesn't square with many accounts from workers, both in news reports and many first-person testimonials on YouTube.
If you go to the bathroom during your break, you're going to have to wait in line, and you're not going to make your numbers for that period, and you're going to have someone come and talk to you.
If you're far away from the bathroom, it's going to take you a long time just to get there, use it, and get back. Now your rate has plummeted.
Unless you really have to, just hold it until you have your lunch break, because it will mess up your rate and they will find any excuse to fire you.
And that's just not a good system for multiple reasons, including the fact that when people shorten their time in the bathroom, they don't shorten the bathroom part, they shorten the hand-washing part. So the next time you order something online, it's probably safe to assume it's been packed by urine-soaked hands. And if you're thinking it can seem like Amazon barely sees their workers as human, you're not alone. Just watch this interviewer have that exact thought in real time.
The number of items they pick per hour, the number of steps they take, it's measured. And when they're not as productive as their colleagues, they're put on alert. There's a line of other people in a lot of these communities waiting to take jobs.
They're almost like robots, except they're obviously human beings.
Yeah. I could honestly watch that guy figure out what things are almost like. For hours. Giraffes are almost like horses, except they're obviously stretchier. And Amazon is rolling out more and more robots in its warehouses, increasingly working side by side with humans, a relationship which isn't always seamless.
An automated machine like this one, used by Amazon to move merchandise, accidentally punctured a can of bear repellent.
There's going to be multiple victims vomiting and feeling ill.
The toxic bear spray got into the building's air vents. More than 50 workers complained about trouble breathing and a burning sensation in their eyes and throats.
Yeah, the workers were bear-maced by a robot. And Amazon says they've now changed how bear repellent is stored, which is frankly just as well, because their workers have been bear-maced more than once. In 2015, a Texas fire department responded to an emergency caused by a robot running over a can of bear repellent. So, in 50 years' time, when humanity is caught in the crossfire of the great bear versus robot war, remember, robots fired the first shot and they fired twice. And it's not just exhaustion or the potential of being bear-maced. Reports have found numerous cases of Amazon workers suffering from workplace accidents or injuries, which isn't even surprising. Remember, this is a physically demanding job. And you might hope that a labour union could step in to push for more protections, but Amazon has actively fought against that happening, even producing a union-busting training video for managers, which leaked onto the internet last fall.
We are not anti-union, but we are not neutral either. We will boldly defend our direct relationship with associates as best for the associate, the business, and our shareholders. We do not believe unions are in the best interest of our customers, our shareholders, or most importantly, our associates. Our business model is built upon speed, innovation, and customer obsession, things that are generally not associated with unions.
Yeah. Customer obsession is not generally associated with unions because it's a very creepy phrase. And not one that I really want to be associated with any brand, much less one that is so desperate to put fucking microphones inside my house. The more you look at Amazon, the more you realise that its convenience comes with a real cost. Because think about it, we used to have to drive to stores to buy things. Now those things are brought directly to us and they're somehow cheaper. That didn't just happen with a clever algorithm. It happened by creating a system that squeezes the people lowest on the ladder hard. And all the while, the man behind Amazon is now worth $118 billion, more than anyone else in the world. He is so rich, he seems to actually think that this is a reasonable answer to a question about what he plans to do with his personal wealth.
The only way that I can see to deploy this much financial resource is by converting my Amazon winnings into space travel.
OK, so first, $118 billion is not anybody's winnings. It is a computer error in capitalism. But it is true, Bezos is spending $1 billion a year on his personal space exploration company, Blue Origin. And I'm not saying that billionaires playing space games is a Freudian issue. Anyone can talk about how rockets look like dicks. I will just say, this is his actual rocket, which looks even more like a dick than you expected it to. It has a head. And even at $1 billion a year, that's just a drop in the bucket of a fortune that Bezos can't seem to figure out how to spend. Meanwhile, some of his employees seem to be working themselves to exhaustion. Amazon has driven the whole warehouse industry to move constantly faster and faster on already low margins. And sure, the fact that it pays at least $15 an hour is nice, but raising workers' wages is only part of the equation here. Making sure these jobs are safe and that the pace is sustainable is critical too. And if Bezos has enough money to fund his space dicks in perpetuity, it isn't a question of whether he can improve working conditions for his employees, it's just a question of if he wants to. And if he doesn't want to, at the very least, Amazon should present a more realistic picture of what their promises cost the workers who make it all happen.
Have you ever wondered how Amazon gets your packages to you so quickly? We do it with two things: amazing technology and amazing people. Every day, thousands of items arrive and Sean goes to find them. Tell us about yourself, Sean.
I pick up products and I'm a horrible dancer.
Oh, that's fun. Can we see some moves?
Oh, I've already walked 12 miles today.
I said dance.
Fuck, shit,
Sick moves. Oh, and that's Ryan. He moves items around the fulfillment center.
I don't have time to go to the bathroom, so I'm just gonna stand here and wet myself.
Good for you, Ryan.
All right. Can't do it while you watch.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Seriously.
Lisa here packs your stuff into boxes, don't you, Lisa?
Can't talk now. I'm running behind in my units per hour.
Oh, it's okay. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Lisa.
I'm a mom. Got 2 kids. I don't see them as much as I like.
Nobody
but,
cares
you know,
about your kids, Lisa. You're falling behind.
Shit.
Faster, faster, faster.
Oh, fuck you.
No, fuck you. The slam machine weighs, scans your box, and attaches a label all in like 1 second. And this is Alberto.
Well, my friends call me Al. And I gotta say, I really think a union would help address some of the systemic problems that we're having.
Bear spray.
Jesus Christ.
And finally, Jackie hugs every box.
No, I don't.
Aw, maybe just this one?
Okay.
Because a lot of people want this job.
Okay.
One day, a robot will hug boxes, and we'll be done with this whole charade.
Yeah, I get it.
But until then, hug the box, Jackie.
Okay,
Good, now kiss it.
I don't want to.
I said kiss the box. Every day, hundreds of thousands of packages are shipped to your front door, and that's all because of our amazing associates. Happy Prime Day, everyone.
Happy Prime Day.
Bear spray!
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Amazon. Try not to think about it.